you put it on the floor, but the one you put on the turntable.
My dog chewed up one of my dad's favorite vinyl covers, just the cover. The vinyl is safe, but like the covers basically got destroyed, and I'm just like, okay, can I just find something that just like has the cover and the vinyl's like in bad shape, so I can just like get that, because like I just want to replace.
Cheap. Yeah, no, I get it. No, my like slightly off to my right here, there's a whole cabinet full of records that belong to the Fox. He's a bit of a collector, mostly weird stuff. Mostly a lot of stuff bought because the cover looks pretty. So, thank you, and hello, and welcome to our listeners.
Yes. Hello. This is Kay and Greg's vinyl discussion.
Yes. we are to boldly turntable that nobody has turntabled before, or something along those lines.
You spin me right round,
baby, right round like a record. Yes. So, hello, welcome. I am, let me get it right this time, because I didn't get it the last time. I'm Kay.
I'm Greg. And Kaki's still out, so you've got us this week.
And we are doing another story reading for you today. It is, as usual. Yes?
I didn't realize when I was choosing these stories that I did last story was intuition, and this one is logical intuition.
Oh, right.
That wasn't intentional. That was just a fun little accident.
It is indeed Logical Intuition by Lauraschiller. It is Star Trek Voyager and Lower Decks. Oh, interesting. We've got a crossover. Oh, so is it that episode? No, wait, that's not right. That's
yes. So this is actually the second story by lauraschiller that's kind of in the Voyager Lower Decks thing, because lauraschiller, we also did a story that was like a coda to when Tom Paris beat Boimler up on Voyager, thinking he was a Kazon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that's the same. Well, it's going to be obviously the same universe because it's all Star Trek, but still. So yes, the summary of the story is: at the inauguration of the Voyager Museum, Tuvok meets a young Vulcan Starfleet officer who asks him for advice. Ooh, interesting.
I may have been rewatching Lower Decks recently, and I saw this and I was like, yeah, this sounds like fun. So blame me.
Okay, no, absolutely. Like you get to pick them anyway, so it's. I'm always happy.
I'm bad with power.
Oh, yes. I guess we're going to be probably going to be getting. Ooh, what's the new one called again? Starfleet Academy. Is that what it's called? The new Star Trek?
Yeah. That's the new one. Yeah, I just realized there's a little bit of prep work that we have to do in the sheets to get that in there. But
right. Yes, I can
that's a very quick thing to do. It's just like, we don't have those in the sheets
update
yet,
the spreadsheets. Yes. I must say, I've only seen the first episode so far, but I rather enjoyed it. It's very Star Trek, and that's about the only thing I have to say about it, really. I mean, it's very Star Trek, and I find it thoroughly enjoyable, so we'll see. We'll see if we get any recommendations. If you want us to hear us talk about the new stuff, recommend it.
Yeah, imagine. I was going to say imagine that we need recommendations, but every once in a while, I go off the rails and I just kind of do my own thing. It's like, we're talking about this episode now.
No, we're not. All right. So, Logical Intuition by Lauraschiller. Tuvok paused in front of the new display case of the Voyager Museum, wrestling down his guilt.
The ship that had been his home for 7 years was barely recognizable as a historical artifact. Cordoned off barriers led visitors along a predetermined route. Costumed mannequins of his shipmates reposed at their stations. Even the air smelled different, less like coffee and Neelix's spices, and more like industrial cleaner, and a little like smoke. Shiny new panels spoke of hasty repairs to the most recent damage the ship had incurred.
It was inexcusable that the crew of the Cerritos had been endangered by his negligence. His illness may have been further advanced than he would admit when Voyager had returned to the Alpha Quadrant, but he should have still been more thorough in his supervision of the security team as they prepared the ship for decommissioning. You should know by now that even the smallest oversight, an alien orchid, a dormant microvirus, an improperly deactivated Borg alcove, could escalate into a threat.
And speaking of small oversights, how had he not noticed the young compatriot standing beside him?
She was about his daughter's age, small and slim, her chin-length hair held back by a blue headband that matched her Starfleet science uniform. The lieutenant junior grade pips on her collar gleamed as if new made. She stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching him closely out with dark, wide eyes.
Their human colleagues would have thought her impassive, but to him, she positively vibrated with eagerness. She wanted very much to ask him something, but as he was the elder, she was waiting for him to speak first.
I love that Lower Decks episode where you see the basically the lower decks of all the different species,
Yes,
and
yes.
the Vulcans. It's like, oh, these emotional outbursts must stop, and it's like fantastic.
It's so good.
That had me in stitches, that one. Greetings, Lieutenant. He saluted her with the ta'al. You are assigned to the Cerritos, correct?
Yes, Commander. She returned the salute. Tallinn, Science Division.
Tuvok, Security, formerly assigned to the USS Voyager.
I recognize you. I have studied the ship's logs.
Tuvok had not agreed with Starfleet Command's decision to declassify those logs, informative as they might be to fellow officers. He was not comfortable with certain events in his career becoming a public knowledge. Honestly, the idea of anyone knowing about Tuvix made him sick. He wondered how much this young woman knew before sternly reminding himself that he was not responsible for how others perceived him. Besides, he sensed no condemnation in her manner, only respect.
Sir, Tallinn took a tiny step closer. May I ask you for advice?
You may.
How do you endure serving with so many off-worlders?
She glanced pointedly at a group of very young officers who were following Tuvok's shipmates around, resembling nothing so much as a litter of puppies from Admiral Janeway's kennel. An Orion scientist listened raptly, hands clasped under her chin, as the doctor expounded on the topic of AI ethics. An engineer with a cybernetic eye waved a schematic pad at a mildly irritated Commander Taurus. A purple-haired man in command red blushed and trembled as he held out a commemorative plate for a smiling Janeway to sign. A woman with a curly ponytail, also in red, hung back with her arms crossed and a smirk on her face. But as soon as Janeway was out of earshot, the ponytailed woman joined her purple-haired friend in squealing and jumping up and down.
I mean, that was me meeting Kate Mulgrew. I was.
Oh, I can so imagine.
Yeah, I was beside myself.
Yeah. Do you have a commemorative plate for her to sign?
No, I just had her sign it. I just had her sign like a little like headshot, and she just looked up at me and gave me like a Janeway sass look, and I was like, oh no.
Nice.
Tallinn cut her eyes back to Tuvok, as if to say, do you see what I mean?
Tuvok did see it. This child could have been himself 90 years younger, fumbling with the collar of his 23rd century uniform, not knowing that human senior officers did not expect their juniors to bring them tea, hopelessly confused about the difference between an insult and a joke. He had sulked around the Excelsior like an adolescent, so was it a wonder that Captain Sulu had treated him like one? He had no regrets. His hiatus from Starfleet had given him precious years with T'Pel and the children. But he had to admit that he had missed an opportunity there.
I take it, he said. You did not transfer to Starfleet by choice.
I was dismissed from the Vulcan Expeditionary Group, Tallinn said lightly, tension in every line of her small frame, for insubordination.
That must have been difficult.
It is.
If I may ask, with what insubordinate act were you charged?
I followed my intuition. Tallinn flushed pale green and looked away. I saved my crew, but I did so against orders.
I see. Tuvok was reminded of his younger self more and more. Intuition can be useful. I, too, rely on it to protect my crew.
You do?
If you have read Voyager's logs, you may recall an incident involving Bajoran hypnosis.
All of Voyager's logs? All 7 years of it? Like everybody's? Really?
That is...
Maybe she just read the AI summary.
I got nothing.
Yeah. She asked ChatGPT to summarize it and just like get out the juicy bits. Anyway. I remember. Her eyes widened. Is that how you knew the phaser was defective?
Indeed. Tallinn's silence churned with the force of a Vulcan mind reevaluating its entire worldview. Tuvok waited patiently for the storm to settle behind her eyes.
Do your Starfleet shipmates value your intuition? She asked eventually, in the small voice of someone whose gifts had been too little valued in her life.
They do, Tuvok said gently. As, I believe, your shipmates will value yours when they come to know you.
Tallinn looked over at her Cerritos crewmates again. The 4 officers Tuvok had noticed earlier were taking holo images of each other, holding two fingers up behind each other's heads or sticking their tongues out at the imager. At second glance, Tuvok recognized the two men from the portraits in the display case. The purple-haired one was Boimler, the engineer was Rutherford, and it was thanks to them the USS Voyager had reached the museum in one piece. The four of them were joking out of sheer human bravado, as if they had just risked their lives to preserve a piece of history, using all of all things Neelix's pernicious cheese. What? Okay, I must have missed something here.
This is in the episode Tuvix, and they're Tuvix with TWO VIX.
Right, yeah.
And Neelix's cheese is like what short-circuited the ship to let them get control back.
Right, okay.
I had just watched this episode like when I chose this one, so this is fresh on my mind.
Okay,
so
yeah,
forgive me here.
Just take your nerd credit and deal with it.
Yeah. T'Lyn did not take her eyes off them this time. Intuition told Tuvok that, despite all her disapproval, she wished she could join them.
The High Command has been in the habit of treating Starfleet as a disposal site for misfits since before the Federation was founded, he said. Ironically, it's often those same misfits, T'Pol, Spock, who make the greatest discoveries. And do you know why?
Because T'Lyn frowned like one of his Maquis trainees struggling for an answer before suddenly relaxing. Her hands, which had been clasped together tightly at her back, loosened visibly. Because their minds were open. Infinite diversity.
In infinite combinations, he finished a quote in unison with her. He had often thought that, like many of Surak's sayings, it ought to be drummed into the heads of school children less often, and lived more in practice instead. He would not be surprised if T'Lyn thought the same way.
Exactly, Lieutenant. Your transfer's only a punishment if you make it one. It could be the opportunity of a lifetime.
T'Lyn inclined her glossy black head to him with gratitude and respect.
And if I may offer another piece of advice, you may want to work on your telepathic shielding. When off-worlders embrace diversity, they sometimes do so in the literal sense. Prepare, he said, in a portentous tone that would have made his human friends laugh. To be hugged.
Noted, T'Lyn said, her eyes twinkling.
A high-pitched squeal made them both turn around. The Orion woman was hurrying towards them, beaming, dragging the others in her wake. T'Lyn! And is that Commander Tuvok? Oh my gosh, it's such an honor. Can we take a holo with you? Please!
Yo, sir, the ponytailed woman tossed him a flippant salute. Sorry you almost broke your ship. In our defense, Boim's here fixed it. She ruffled the purple hair of her companion, who was still cradling his autographed plate.
It was mostly Rutherford who fixed it, said Boimler, blushing.
Rutherford scratched the back of his head and smiled. Just doing my job.
It was well done, lieutenants, said Tuvok, though I must apologize for the necessity. If I had been more diligent.
Superior officer or not, Mariner interrupted him with a snort. You? Like it was your idea to stuck holo emitters all over the ship and let Chakotay run loose? I read your logs, Commander, and I don't think so.
Wait, okay. It did say Chaotica.
Oh, Chaotica.
But I do like that it's the idea of just Chakotay just running around on the ship.
Chaotic. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, no, you're right. It does say
I'm sorry.
In my defense, Chakotay and Chaotica are spelled almost identically.
No. See, I would not point it out I would not have pointed it out if it was not very funny to me. Just the image of Chakotay just chasing them around.
No, fair point.
That's right, said Boimler. Also, if I remember Starfleet protocol correctly, and I usually do, isn't it the repair team's jobs at Utopia Planitia to go over the ship one more time and weed out the dangerous stuff?
Also, the Orion's face turned a darker shade of emerald. About the orchid, I think that's on me. I didn't cover it up and some petals fell off while I was cataloging.
While we were cataloging, T'Lyn corrected, moving to stand beside her fellow scientists in solidarity. It was my oversight as well, Lieutenant Tendi. In any case, it does not matter whose fault it was. All we can do is be more careful in the future.
Her logic was sound. Tuvok nodded to her, just as she had done to him a moment ago.
Exactly, Tendi chirped. Told you all T'Lyn was brilliant. Now say, schlift?
Split? Split, I think it says, yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea what that is.
I mean, to split and leave? No. She looped her arms through that of her Vulcan colleague, pulling her into the group that surrounded Tuvok, while holding out her holo imager with her free hand. T'Lyn, who could have easily avoided that maneuver, permitted it without a single sign of protest. Neither did Tuvok while the young people gathered around him, radiating physical and spiritual warmth as they did. The resulting image was of beaming Orion, 3 laughing and/or grimacing humans, and 2 contented Vulcans in the middle.
Infinite diversity, indeed.
I love that. Laura Schiller really got the spirit of the various characters right, I would say, there.
Really, really got the character voices correct, which I always appreciate when like fanfics can just really nail that stuff. Yeah. I had fun with this one, so
I loved it. It's a really good, really fun story. Really gets the character. I mean, I don't really have to watch this episode now, so it's. I guess it's a Lower Decks episode in which they basically tow Voyager home or something.
yeah. It's the season 4 opener.
Oh.
And it's there's some deep Voyager cuts there, which I always appreciate. It's such a silly show. I love Voyager so much.
All right, so thank you for joining us. There will be a regular episode next week, and the week after that we will be back with another story, which leaves us with only one more thing to do.
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Energize!
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with your friends Kay and Kaki. Production and editing by our chief engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amor. Join us next week for In the Cards, DS9 525. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Blue Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to Joy of Trek, and we'll see you out there.